My name's Lexi, I am the Winter Child Witch, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making gluten-free banana bread for an abundance of health and protection in the darker part of the year. Let's go. Right, quick run through the ingredients. We've got dry ingredients, 1 1/4 cup each of gluten-free flour, ground almonds and gluten-free oats, with 3 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder and a 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 3 medium-sized ripe to very ripe mashed bananas, 1/4 cup each of cane sugar and brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of maple syrup and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and an 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 egg. Now you can substitute this with, or exchange this actually for 1 flax or chia egg. I'm just fresh out of chia seeds, so there's that. 3 tablespoons of melted coconut oil and a 3/4 cup of almond milk. Now, cinnamon, as most of you guys will know, is good for love, for happiness, for health and protection. So we will be working with the health and protection and happiness aspects of this, because it's getting dark, it's getting horrible, people tend to get sick. I don't want that, neither does my boyfriend. Banana, incidentally, also for happiness. Pecan nuts for an abundance of health and happiness. Sugar, obviously, to attract health and happiness. Almonds for wisdom, third eye, insight, intuition. In this case, going to go with the insight into what to avoid to get sick, not get sick. Then we have the vanilla, which is love and mental clarity, and nutmeg. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to grab yourself a large bowl, into which you dump all of your liquid ingredients. Now that's going to be the banana and the sugars. Also, just check out these. My boyfriend picked these up for me at Aldi. He's the best. The sugar, the banana, the milk, and the egg. Or flax egg, if you're better prepared than I am. Right. Eggshells, you know, keep these, dry them, take out the skin here on the inside. You can keep that skin as well. Apparently it's pretty good in healing spells, anything connected to bones. Eggshells, wash them, dry them, grind them up, use them in your protection powders. And of course the vanilla extract and maple syrup. Again, these awesome, cutesy little cats. Right. Now what I like to do before I add in the coconut oil is to just give this a thorough mix. And in this case I'm warding off health issues and sickness by stirring widdershins, or for normal people language, counterclockwise. Right, these are all mixed in together nicely. And we add the coconut oil. As I said, 3 tablespoons worth of coconut oil. And give all that a good mix. Again, going counterclockwise. And I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I've got my oven preheating to 180 degrees Celsius. 180 Celsius. I'm not entirely sure for my dear friends in America, but I think that is about 360 Fahrenheit. Please use Google to calculate that, because I don't want you to burn your lovely banana bread. Right, once all that is mixed in, you can go ahead and dump in all of your dry ingredients. These I like to keep until the end. And then I fold, it says in the recipe to whisk it. I'm not a huge fan of whisking, because whisks get really dirty and really hard to clean if you've got an old whisk like I have. So I prefer to use a spatula. I'm going clockwise this time around to attract that abundance of health and protection to the house. And these little specks of brown here are just from the sugar. It's not the newest sugar, because we don't use a lot of sugar in this house. Now this is probably just over a quarter cup's worth of roughly chopped pecan nuts. The pecan nuts, again, abundance. I just dump those in. And what the hell is that? When you have cats, you'll understand. Just fold those in. These aren't actually in the recipe, FYI. Also, disclaimer, it is not my recipe. Unfortunately, I cannot for the life of me remember where I have got this recipe from. Otherwise, I would have linked it for you. As it is, I'm going to write it out for you in the description box below. Right. Because I'm all over the place, once again, with my brain, I forgot, obviously, our lovely spices. I'm just gonna... again. And what I like to do is, at this point, just envision the protection that my home and my family, in this case my cats and my boyfriend and myself, will be receiving from this recipe when we eat it. We'll be protected from illnesses, we'll be protected from worries, we'll be protected from season-related issues or problems we could encounter. You can obviously, you can write a proper spell for this, you can do a rhyme for it. I'm really bad at rhyming. I'm not gonna molest you with that. But yeah, I tend to envision whilst I'm mixing. And now for the fun part, because I have prepared, God I'm good, a little loaf tin. And what I don't like greasing loaf tins, so what I've done is I've cut a slightly larger rectangle of baking paper, made 4 incisions on the sides, and then just pressed it into the loaf tin. And now we're ready to transfer all of this banana bready goodness. Can't see very much, can you? No. Camera angles. Do excuse me, this is pretty much my first video. So this is definitely going to improve over time. Sorry about that. Okay, right. I'm not a huge fan of using fingers, so except for actual bread making, because there's nothing better than kneading actual bread. Okay, you can smooth this out a little bit. And what I like to do, and which I didn't mention to you in the beginning, I've got here some extra pecan nuts, just for decoration purposes. Now what I like to do is just put them on in kind of like a little pattern. And you can do all sorts. You could exchange the pecans for walnuts. You could do hazelnuts if you prefer. You could do dried fruits. You could do anything really. You can also switch up the spices. You could add pumpkin spice. You could add allspice. Whatever you want and whatever you want to try and achieve with whatever you want to make this bread for. Sky's the limit. So this baby will go into the oven, as mentioned, at 180 degrees Celsius, which I believe is 360 degrees Fahrenheit, for 1 to 1.5 hours. I shall see you then. Okay, so it's been almost an hour, and guys, that smell. Woohoo! Right. Now, at this point you can say another blessing over this. One would really not believe that I just cleaned this. You can say another blessing over this, or you can say a spell, say a prayer, call your deities to bless this bread. I generally tend to work with Hecate, very, very creative. So at this point I would say a prayer and ask Hecate to bless this banana bread and grant the people in this household and the people who will be eating this banana bread health and protection throughout the cold and dark period of the year. Hello, hello, we are back. It's been just over an hour and this looks absolutely fabulous. Now, I have said a prayer to Hecate and asked her to grant the people who will be eating this banana bread and the people who live in this home protection and health throughout the dark winter months. Now what I will do with this, while I keep envisioning that protection that Hecate will be granting us, what I will do is I will very carefully take this out of the form and leave it on this cooling rack to chill for a bit. Okay, back again. Right, this has cooled considerably. It's still a little bit warm to the touch, but that is like the best. So I'm not a huge fan, but if you wanted to, you could at this stage, when you start cutting it, go in and just slather on some butter or margarine or whatever tickles your fancy. Now, for cutting, I would highly recommend a serrated edge knife. Now, these are really, really sharp, so please be knife safe. Always, like, don't kill yourself or anything. Right. Now, ever so gently, because, like, this still being a little bit warm, is very delicate. Right, that's what it looks like. It's not terribly bready or cakey because of lack of gluten, obviously. But yeah, once you've reached this stage, thank your deities for attending and for helping you. I totally forgot to mention in the beginning that I have, before I got started, before I did anything, I invited Hestia, which is another goddess I work with, to bless the ingredients and to bless the work of cooking, Hestia being the goddess of the home and hearth and home fire. So I hope you try this recipe out, even if you don't do any rituals or anything with it. This is really, really tasty and works great as like a snack or a treat or hell, even breakfast. So yeah, have a lovely day and I hope to see you soon. Bye!